Another fantastic podcast for episode 1 of season 2, the premiere, The Desperate Kingdom of Love. And I am excited to watch this one because once again, there's so many things I forgot about. Oh man, that opening sequence of Dan's funeral. I love it. And I mean, it definitely goes to show how, I guess, guilty Deb is feeling. Although, while I understand the human emotion of guilt and why I can see why she might, it's Dan. I mean, really, he kind of brings everything on himself. Oh my God, Naylee's first morning after getting married. And we see another shot of that stupid nipple ring. Oh my God. I forgot how many times we actually saw it. But how cute are Naylee? And she's all like, no, give me your phone. You're not calling your mom back. Which later could be misinterpreted. You're keeping your son, my son from me. Oh gosh, and just I totally forgot that this is where it really pops off with Deb's like total like 180 on she becomes a different person starting in season 2. Man, Keith looks happy, healthy on the beach away from One Tree Hill, and I always forget that this is when Lucas like shaves his head, but I did appreciate the okay Felicity like reference. That was funny. Okay, when Keith gets the private number call and immediately answers it. This was back in a day before we stopped answering those calls. Just FYI for those of you who don't know. It is nice to see Peyton and Brooke back into the friendship groove. Something they talked about on the podcast was how sure James Lafferty playing Nathan was in his role, especially being so young in this season. Or young in general. And I just love this moment where he's like, us getting married isn't about him. It's about us. And I'm never going to hide the fact that we're married. Love that. They are right. Deb is very good at delivering that horrible assiest ass on the planet line. Totally don't blame that Deb was taking a moment to consider. She's definitely, it goes to show she's better than most because I don't know how many people really would have not let him die. When Nathan says that Haley is his family now and he could love her forever, love it. And I have to say, like, there you go with the rain again. I have to wonder, was this a conscious choice or did it just kind of happen every time? You know, a lot of points with them in the rain, let's be real. When Lucas says, would it be wrong to, if he, to hope that he dies or whatever, it's like, that's kind of a legit question. Really. I mean, that's an honest question to ask, especially considering it's Dan. Okay, when Dan's like having his little rehearsal of what he wants to tell Deb in the car about how he doesn't want to lose her and he'll do everything and anything. I still have a very hard time believing that speech because that's what narcissists do. They tell you what you want to hear. I really liked Whitey and Karen's conversation when she went to see him at the hospital. And he speaks the truth. It's very good advice. Don't waste your life. Take the chances. Live your life. I mean, it's very true. He speaks the truth. Skinny dipping on a boat when there's no one else manning it. That's brave. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. But the whole Brooke and Peyton friendship back in action is great. I don't know. I get why Brooke was upset about Peyton not immediately telling her about the letter, but it was literally like the day before. And I mean, I think she was a little over the top on that one, but I mean, I get it. Oh my God, the whole scene with Haley's parents and the introduction of her parents is so great. It's just so funny. And then with that misdirect with Marion, and it was so great. It was like that whole scene was just so funny and so like genuine feeling. James's acting, just looking at his dad or Dan in the, coma, was really good in that moment. I mean, he's always been so good at his role in this, because like his facial expressions almost say better than what he could, vocally voice. And can we just say the pros and cons list that Keith has is like, I was an ass. No, Dan's an ass. Lucas was an ass. Like, I love the reasons to stay. And I love that one of the reasons that Lucas wants to go back is Nathan. That's so cool. And Keith acknowledges that, he's like, I'm really glad you're getting to know Nathan. And it's such a nice moment, but I totally get why Keith can't go back. And I don't think that he should. Oh my God. I totally forgot that that's how that Deb felt the ring on Haley's hand. And you can just see, like, when Haley starts talking, I love your son very much. She just doesn't want to hear anything from her. And it's just such, like, tell me what, Nathan? And it's just, this whole scene is just so amazing. Okay, so I totally get why Deb is trying to shift the blame here. But I never got it, because they totally said that on the podcast. They were like, yeah, she's trying to bury, I think I was so shocked by how she was treating Haley, and shocked by her overall change and just the 180 she did from last season to this season. And it was just crazy to me, because I think I was just so overly shocked by that whole turn of events that I never fully understood why she was acting this way. Like, I knew she was shifting the blame, but I never fully got it until they mentioned that on the podcast. Deb really feels like she's lost everything at this point, too. So that's a good thing to point out, because not only was she shifting the blame, but it was just so shocking to see her act that way towards Haley. But she really just feels like she lost everything. So it makes a lot of sense, I guess. I kind of hate all the blame that Deb puts on herself, because, I mean, she went through it with Dan. I mean, I understand it, though. It's a very human emotion, and it just was perfect that, Karen was there to be there for her, because, again, she feels like she's lost everything. Haley's parents and Haley are a good example of when children really do become opposite of their parents, because their parents are so lighthearted and happy and funny and laughing, and they're very almost hippie-ish type, like very chill. And she's so serious, and but it's kind of awesome to see parents kind of laughing but kind of taking you seriously, but not in a crazy scream fest kind of way. I'm glad that Peyton and Brooke could quickly get through this little scuff up over the letter. I like the phone call between Lucas and Nathan, because it's very brotherly. I feel like that's a really big step in the progression of their brother friendship relationship. And I love Haley's parents, because their whole discussion is just great. It's so real, and it's just refreshing to see parents not just screaming and yelling and freaking out. I like that her mom was like, Haley's usually more mature than we are. And then just that whole, my parents didn't want us getting married, and I always loved them a little less for not seeing what I saw in you. And it was just such a moment, So I totally get why Peyton and Brooke don't want to see what's in the letter, but I wanted to know what was in the letter. That's always bothered me. And I totally get where Brooke's coming from. I hope it wasn't money, right? Totally understand Keith's outburst. And for those of us who know, he really should have kept with that whole I'm never going back stance, because yeah, I mean, he just keeps getting pulled back in, and I get it. Though, I'm glad to hear him be a little angry about the whole thing, because it is true. It's why should we stop what we're doing? This man did not give a crap about anybody. So, but then it's Lucas is in his idealistic teen mind. He's like, 'cause he's your brother. Okay. Being family gives people a reason to resolve themselves from all the crap they did to you. No, I meant absolve themselves from what they did to you, not resolve. My brain is mush today. It's Monday. Oh, and seeing Haley pack up her room. Oh my God. Like, feels. Did anybody else get the impression that when Karen had to tell the nurse he's the father of my son, like, that was really hard for her to say? I felt that. And then, oh, Whitey had to have like major surgery. Yeah. Oh my God, I always love that Nathan is just so steadfast in his belief in him and Haley. And like, she's freaking out, and he's like, no, this is not a mistake. I always love you and protect you. I love it. And can we just say how amazing the writers did on Nathan's vows? Damn! This ocean may wash away, but like his, oh my, or the beach might wash away, the oceans might dry up. Like, oh, that's so good. And her parents were there. It's such a beautiful location. Like, all the warm and fuzzy feels, man. Having Nathan and Haley's vows play over everybody else's life moments, and then you see like Lucas just find Peyton and Brooke on the beach, and it was just it was like, well, it's kind of a heavy moment. Oh my God. I mean, of course Lucas had to come back. And then it's just great because like Dan wakes up and sees Deb and Keith's hugging Deb, whatever. It's like, of course he had to wake up at that moment. Of course. It's so good. Oh my God. This show, I swear, it doesn't get old. That's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. And hi to all my new subscribers. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next week.